shit.
Is that a new start screen, intro screen?
All right, guys, we are back with the MODCAST, and I want to introduce my guests from Pig Dog Games, Accident and Dropkick Mondo, right?
Mondo, you got it.
There we go, and my fellow cohorts, Nerdist the Cat and Mystics. Guys, welcome to another broadcast of the MODCAST. Welcome.
Hello, fellow watchers of video games.
Hello.
And yeah, we are doing this to promote Pig Dog Games alpha game that's out right now. That's greenlit. The Misfits. Which one of you guys wants to talk about it? Who's the lead engineer here?
Oh, he couldn't join us today.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we just dumped them. We just took the rights, and this is our game now.
Yeah.
Hey guys, how you doing, man? Thanks for coming on.
I mean, if we were gonna go with the lead, it's all Accident's idea. This was his baby. He started this up, so he can go ahead and describe it.
Okay. Well, as far as lead engineer, you're wanting to talk to Bumblebee. I don't know I thought he was going to make it in today, but he's not here. So, but yeah, he's our lead engineer.
All right. So tell us about what's Misfits all about, or tell me more about your company, Pig Dog Games. How did you guys all come up to be? How did you guys come to be?
Okay, that's a good question. We actually used to all work together. Not all of us, but the majority of us used to work together over at another game company, a small studio called Rocketeer Games. And on a first-person shooter free-to-play game called Red Crucible Firestorm. This was kind of like I want to say like a Battlefield.
Yeah.
But there were originally it was a little bit more on the arcadey side, but I came on board maybe
I think it was
I want to say
summer.
like 4 months into the change. Because they basically brought me on board to kind of help re-envision some of the gameplay mechanics and to oversee a lot of the level design and whatnot for the game. So
was it like you guys were just all friends? Did you guys know each other from before?
No, that was pretty much the first time we actually met. Up until that point, I think I was just making documentation for them remotely from San Diego, because they're based out of Sacramento. So I was just making documentation and handing it off to Travis, I think.
Yeah.
Or Tondo here.
It was, a couple of us took a look at your designs, your map designs, and started implementing your ideas into the game.
Yeah.
And were you thinking like, we need to get this guy with the company? This guy's badass. Did you guys just have him come on?
I think the idea was always to bring him on eventually, and so we did. The CEO of the company had previously worked with Gerald. So they had that connection.
I worked with John over at Electronic Arts. That's when I first met John. This was like another life, a long time ago. Back when I was doing tools testing for Renderware Studio. Yeah. It was basically their main 3D program. So I was working in QA at the time, and then that's kind of how I met John. He was working on another game. I think it was, oh gosh, what the hell was it?
Was it Medal of Honor?
Yeah, he was working. No, you know what?
Star Wars one.
I don't think he was working on Medal of Honor there. He was working on Medal of Honor in LA.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the Medal of Honor team was down in LA. He was working on Godfather. That's what it was. I think he was working on
EA.
Godfather.
That was an EA game, right? I remember.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I love that game.
Yeah, but I mean, prior to that, I've like met John in passing because we kind of knew people. We were in, like the way I got the job was through a friend of ours, and then I just met John that way.
Mm-hmm.
But John was kind of he's a pretty like he's kind of an introvert, I guess.
Oh, kind of the quiet guy, right?
He's a quiet guy. Like he doesn't really, he if he trusts you, he'll like take you under his wing. But it's very difficult to gain his trust. Mm-hmm. So I'd known him for so long that and when he first started making Red Crucible, I was giving him feedback on how to set up his characters and going with like a third-person shooter camera. Yeah, because they only had first person. In fact, I actually tried to talk him into making a much smaller game, but he wanted to make this giant, Battlefield type game. But when you're working on a game that size with such a small team, it's very difficult to kind of finish. So I think his plan was to kind of bring me on a while back, but at that time I was working for another company. So I think at that time I was working for Namco.
So a lot of you guys worked for like big time companies, I believe, right? That's what it's sounding like, because you guys were working on like big name games like Godfather or what were you working on Namco?
For Namco, I was working on a third-person adventure game called Splatterhouse. Mm-hmm. And it was basically kind of an homage to the original Splatterhouse, which was a 2D side-scroller. Yeah. And I think they made 3 different, versions of that game, or sequels to that game. And then what Namco wanted to do was make a third-person God of War type of game out of it. Yeah. So they wanted to re-envision the game, and that's where I hopped on that team.
Okay.
So,
and then from that point on, how was the Misfits kind of born? How did that idea just come out? Well,
the Misfits was really something that I wanted to make because I was a huge Gears of War fan. Mm-hmm. I'm a good. I mean, I like playing first person shooters, but with Gears of War, that just kind of like when that came out, it just got to me. Yeah. And I was constantly playing that game, and I was even playing in game battles and joining clans and whatnot. That's how into the game I was. Yeah. So I kind of wanted to make that type of game, but I wanted to add some additional mechanics that were more of what you see in first-person shooter type games. Yeah. And then when I pitched some of the idea to John, he was kind of he liked the whole idea, but we were working on we might have discussed trying to make that type of game later on, but it just didn't pan out. Mm-hmm. And then for us here, working on the Misfits, it just kind of evolved into something a little bit different. Yeah. Like we started adding, it started turning more into an arena shooter. And I think the reason why it turned into that is because of the market right now. There's a lot of games out there that are very similar now. And everything's going into the RPG realm with shooter games. Mm-hmm. And I just kind of felt like let's make something that is kind of a nod back to the original arena type shooters, and it still has some of the same or similar mechanics with a twist that we added as far as game modes and and still we wanted to make something kind of that was our own, I guess.
Yeah. It looks great. I mean,
different.
It looks different. I'm still looking at the footage. It's a lot of action in the game. You have many weapons. You have I know you guys are working on more maps as well. And what else can you say about was it inspired by anything else, that because I remember when we were talking about the game, I think it was just the artwork we were talking about. What was it?
We were talking about me and Rage Pellet were talking with you previously.
Yeah.
And I think since he's the lead artist, he was mainly inspired by Jet Set Radio.
Yeah.
And the cell shaded era that was coming up, and he really liked that. And he's been wanting to do an art like that since I've known him.
Really?
So
for the longest time.
He's loving making this right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Me and Rage went to school together, so we've known each other for years.
Oh, nice. Did you have what's your history in game making as well? How long have you been in the biz for?
My history is actually fairly short. I spent about 5 or 6 years at Rocketeer Games, right out of college, and then started here with Gerald.
Yeah.
So I have these 2 games under my belt.
That's great. That's good. You guys are all a bunch. I know there's a lot of you guys. How big is your group right now? Is it 5 or 6?
5.
It's about 5.
We have 5, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good stuff. And besides that, what do you see in hopes of the game? What else do you want it to be? Since you're still developing it, is there? Do you want it to be a big blockbuster game? Because it looks like it can be, because definitely, I know, I'm pretty sure you want that. But I think there's a lot of these games that are out as well. What do you think? What makes yours stand out compared to everyone else?
I think our approach as far as a game company helps us stand out a little bit. Because we're a little bit more transparent than most game companies, and a little more accessible to our players. I mean, there's really, how many studios openly invite players to join their Discord and ask them questions directly about the game. That kind of stuff it's important, and that's kind of one of the things that I learned working over at Sony is they were pretty transparent on a project I was working on, a Planet Side too. They're pretty transparent with their player base, and I think that that worked well for them. Even though the game didn't really do that hot, but because of that, they still have a huge following.
Yeah.
There's that, and then there are some elements the thing I wanted to make sure that we did here was to have players be able to quickly transition from other games onto our game, but at the same time, when they're playing these game modes, there are some elements that are similar, but then we've changed them a bit, and put our kind of unique twist on them.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of balance helps, with being able to keep and retain the players that we need.
Yeah.
And then as far as the art style, Lewis was pretty much the second person on actually he's kind of the third. Jen was the second, and she does all the UI on it. Lewis, basically, when we first started talking about when I started making the first video, I contacted Lewis because I worked with him on another project outside of this. It was a small VR project, and he was, when I showed him the game, he instantly fell in love with it. So from that point on, we were looking at different art styles, and he was looking at Jet Set Radio, but we were also looking at Team Fortress 2. And you see a lot of that.
I do see a lot of Team Fortress 2.
You see a lot of it in here, but you don't see Team Fortress 2 is super stylized.
Yeah. I think that's more different. Everyone has a role somewhat to do something, you got a healer and things. You guys are straight action here, which I like. I love the action. Yeah. It's kill, kill, kill. So
yeah, and there's other things that we want to do, in addition to just the multiplayer aspect of this.
Yeah.
We want to also have co-op campaigns as well, but that's something that's going to require more staff to actually help.
I see. So how many modes of the game do you guys have in here?
Travis, you want to answer that?
I think he had to take off. He had to take off real quick.
Oh, you took off already?
Yeah, he put a message in Discord. So it's all you, bro. It's all you.
Okay.
Yeah, he put a little message for you.
So currently we have 5 game modes in the game, but we're looking to make more and expand on that. Of course, we're gonna try and make sure that there's gonna be a unique quality to these game modes, and the cool thing is that because we talk to our players, we get a lot of feedback as far as what they'd like to see. And if it makes it in the game,
Mm-hmm.
And their help is kind of is needed to make this game great. That feedback from the player base really helps kind of push us as well. As well as build this awesome relationship between the fans.
Mm-hmm.
So
it really looks good. Your baby here it's great. I could only imagine how it looked like when you first started it. I take it was probably a totally different game. Is that right?
Let's say again. I didn't quite catch that.
Oh, I could imagine how this game looked like from long time ago, the backbones of it, the skeleton of it. It must have been a totally different game back then or to what it is now. Is that right?
You know what? It did evolve quite a bit, but the same kind of base is still there.
Yeah.
We did evolve with the ramp jumping and all that stuff, and then as far as player speeds, it was a little bit more on the realistic side. But we just kind of went for it when we started to figure out the speeds, the character speeds, and then the weapons and the camera mechanics. All that stuff kind of just meshed together over the past couple months.
Mm-hmm.
And once we figured that out and started to really have fun with the game, it just evolved into what you see right now.
It's great. And what kinds of different kind of play modes are there in the game? If you could describe each one.
Okay, so we have your traditional team deathmatch options on here with 2 teams basically duking it out. And it's all kill based. But we also have, and this is what I'm talking about with certain game modes that help transition you. So there's another one we have, which is a 4-team team deathmatch. And that's that one we call Gang War. Which I know you've played it. It's super chaotic in that.
Oh yes, it is. That's fun though.
But
it's fun.
And the thing is, it's actually pretty fun. You have that. There's a point when it's so chaotic in the matches where there's just constant people just getting shot at, and you're never accumulating or getting your kill streaks up because you're just getting shot from all these different directions. But that's cool because there's always that action. So if you want to have that kind of gameplay, then you can and choose that mode.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's really going to be different the way that the game the way that the players react to that when we start introducing the clan stuff. So when people are actually trying to play this game tactically, it's going to be a little bit different, I think.
Wow.
Sure, you're going to have a couple, a lot of players just jumping in and just it's a free for all type thing. But when they start playing tactically, you can do that, and we purposely made it that way to gear it towards esports. So there's that, and then there's also a capture the flag type mode, which is our money or cash grab. So the thing about cash grab is it's not really so much about capturing the flag, it's about getting money. Really, you're trying to get money, accumulate money any way you can. So there was 3 ways that we thought about where we're actually getting money and bringing it back to your bank. One was a main bag that, you know, that's basically the main goal. But then you have these secondary and tertiary goals to achieve as well. That being kill the players, and then they drop cash, and then you can take that money back to your base. And then another thing was something that we haven't implemented yet, and we still have to test, which is we're going to put in machines, you know, like say for instance the casino level Lucky Dice. We were going to allow players to actually bash the crap out of those slot machines, or destroy some machines, or
that's gonna be sick.
You know, registers, and then you'll be able to accumulate cash that way and bring that back as well.
Oh, so it's interacting with the environment, which you could get to your goal. That's awesome. That's smart.
Yeah, so that was something that we also wanted to input. We just haven't been able to put in the game yet because, you know, there's 5 of us, man.
Yeah.
So and they, so the other game mode is more of your traditional kind of capture the flag type, or not capture the flag, capture point, or point capture mode. But instead of, you know, you being able to capture the point and then take off, you're basically babysitting that point.
Is it kind of like a domination kind of?
It is a domination. Like it is basically, if you're playing Call of Duty, it's domination. But the difference is you have to babysit the flag. Or you have to babysit that point. And what this does is it basically splits your team, right? Yeah. You're not just going from one point to one point and everybody focuses on that point that's being captured.
Yeah.
All 3 points can be captured at the same time. That's true for domination, but you have to babysit it too. Okay. So you can't just take off. Somebody's got to stay there if you want to accumulate the points.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So it's turning I mean, so far the players, it really makes a bigger difference if you have more players in the match.
Yeah.
And right now we're trying to basically streamline this game and optimize it enough so that we can get as many players as we can in there. Right now, of course, we're in pre-alpha, and you know there's issues with lag and whatnot because we still need to optimize a ton.
Oh,
so,
okay. I'm sure that could be worked out in the future anyway.
Yeah.
But so like you say, there's only 5 of you guys. How much time and effort have you put as a total on this game?
You know, there's been a lot of effort, time, blood, sweat, and tears, and everything you can possibly imagine that we've put into this game. You know, and everybody's put in their fair share. So I mean, for me, I've put in it, like if you want to say I'm, you know, when I started actually building out my first sandbox, it was about I'd say about 8-9 months ago. So to be able to do, I mean, I've worked on some games before. I mean, I probably between everybody, I have the most experience working on games.
Yeah.
And so I can tell you that working for, like, let's say for Splatterhouse, we had, let's see how many people on that. We had 20 people in our studio in Carlsbad, plus another 60 people in out here in Santa Clara.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot of people, right? And just that is considered a small team, right?
Yeah.
So over at PlanetSide, I mean, that is a gigantic game, though. On PlanetSide, that's a gigantic game.
Huge.
We had hundreds, of people working on that game.
Yeah.
Most shooter games, they have hundreds. They throw like hundreds of people on a project and then try to get it finished.
Yeah.
Within like a year to 2 years of time. So we've done that. We basically made this game in under a year so far with 5 people.
That
just tells you how much. That just tells you how much time and effort we spent on this game.
Wow.
We don't have any, you know, financial backing at this point, which is why we're doing Kickstarter.
Yeah.
You know, but Kickstarter is hit or miss, man. Like most games do not get funded, especially if you don't have a following already. And because we don't have a, you know, this is not the Misfits 2. We don't have that following. So we're trying to also build our presence in social media to try and get more players in here.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that we're just like, yeah, we're learning as we go.
Oh yeah. But it's good to have your freedom to do what you want in your game, right? You don't have like some corporate overlords looking at you, telling you like, put this in the game, put that. It's basically whatever you guys want, right?
Basically, like we do everything by committee.
Yeah.
Well, we try to. So the cool thing is that, I was able to find a group of like-minded people that I trust because I've worked with these guys already.
Yeah.
And, we worked well together. And I think that's why, they wanted to come on board.
Yeah.
I'm not paying these guys.
Oh, you're not? They're like, wait, what?
We don't get paid, man. We have $0 in the budget. Everything on here. This is a indie studio. We don't make any money. Like most of us have second jobs. So, we work on. This is my second job. Unfortunately, we're at a point right now. Fast forward 8-9 months later, where we're about to go into early access in July.
Yeah.
Which would hopefully get us a little bit of financing so that we can actually complete the game by Christmas.
Yeah.
So, and that's the beauty of that is we don't owe anybody money.
Oh, that's a good benefit as well.
Everything that comes in is basically going to come to us, and we're saving. I wanted to do something a little bit different as far as the studio. Everybody has, like I said, I trust these guys.
Yeah.
And we basically give our feedback to each other. Yeah, this is working. This is not. This is what I think we should do, and we'll test it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's how things get made in our game.
Trial and error kind of deal.
It's all trial and error, but I mean, we have enough experience working on shooters and other games that we know what is gonna work.
Yeah.
And then we just need to adjust things to make it like super fun. So
that's great. And I want to go ahead and plug in your Kickstarter again. I know the mods have several times put it in chat, but guys, if you could help them reach the goal to help fund their game, it's going to be a hit. We know it. If you see the footage of it right now, it looks awesome, guys. And if you guys are interested in doing some more alpha testing with us, hit us up with a message and we'll get you guys in. It's always fun times on those Friday nights. And as I hear, there's going to be another day for it, right?
Yeah. We're right now talking about another day to actually do some live streaming on Twitch. So we're expanding our little thing. We don't really have a Twitch presence, so we're trying to, and a lot of it was because we just don't have the time to do it. Like I said, we're all working different, multiple jobs at this point. So I'm usually making some YouTube videos, but I think Dropkick is going to be handling the Twitch portion of it.
Yeah.
So you'll every time we stream. And that's going to be more of like a dev commentary, like this is what we're doing right now, or these are the new changes. It's going to be more of like the informational portion of the game.
Yeah.
Information, or handing out all the information about what what's the new thing we're working on in the future, blah blah blah. The actual dev videos that we do on Friday, that's going to be more of the play test and having fun with our players, because that's important. We want to get them excited. We want to make sure that they stick around and that they're having fun, and they give us a lot of a ton of feedback that we need, and post all these bugs on Discord so that we can go and fix it.
Yeah, that's good. I just love how a lot of the interaction with the people and the players and the testers, you guys definitely take that in consideration. I mean, has it ever been to a point where you had to totally revamp a certain part of the game, like, oh, this ain't working, we definitely got to rewrite this code or whatnot? Has there been a lot of that?
Oh yeah, there's been a ton of it. A lot of it had to do with the character controller. We found that like initially we used a character controller that was kind of pre-made, just to get us going.
Yeah.
Right. And we found so many limitations to it because we wanted to add additional, features, and we started to notice that, hey, we're spending more time making these weird adjustments to the character controller. We should have just done this in the first place and created our own.
Yeah.
And that's really what you want to do, but it was definitely something that got us over the hump. We were able to quickly put together a demo. And now that we have what we need out of this tool, we're basically going back and creating our new character controller, and that's what the guys are working on right now.
Oh, that's
partly that, and it's partly the optimization portion. So we're right now we have like one server, right? But part of the reason why you're seeing a lot of like slow down is because everybody's on that server. It doesn't matter where you're at.
Yeah.
So you have guys that are in. We have some fans that are in Australia or New Zealand or wherever.
Yeah, I remember you guys
and
were
they're getting
that.
like they have like 250 ping on and it's like, okay, you seem skipping around everywhere. So eventually what we want to have is it's going to be something similar to like where the way the Gears does it, so that one of the players basically hosts the match. So this way, wherever you are in your region, you're always going to have a group of people that have similar connection or similar speeds. Somebody will be there to host it.
Yeah, I was curious of. I know you guys got greenlit by Steam. How does one go about doing that? Is that hard to do?
You know what? I can say this. Like, we figured that we were going to get greenlit on Steam, but yes, it is hard to do. Because you see a lot of like very strange games on Steam.
Oh, very yes. Some that I wonder how they even got approved.
Exactly. Well, that's the players. That's the players. They just some people just want those crazy type games, but see the problem with that is there's pretty much any game might get greenlit.
Yeah.
And ones that actually deserve to get greenlit might not get greenlit. So there is a portion of like Valve still goes in and greenlights you.
Yeah.
So and they just completely did away with greenlight. See, they're doing a new type of system. I think it's just Valve that's basically approving you.
Oh, really? So they really got that portion out. You guys were you guys one of the last
groups? We caught
groups?
the tail end of it. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you guys got through it.
So when we got greenlit, or before we got greenlit, we were like, okay, we're gonna build our presence here on Steam.
Yeah.
We're gonna get fans. We're gonna start like making videos and do our PR, right? So we're thinking we had some time. We had months at least to do this.
Yeah.
And we hop on and we do our, we finally do our greenlight page and set it up. And about 3 weeks later, we get greenlit.
Yeah.
So somebody at Steam saw the game and they fast tracked us. There's no doubt in my mind that that's what happened. Because I mean, we had the votes, like we had the percentage. Like there were more players that wanted to. I don't know how they actually figured this out, but I think it's if players really like the game, depends on the percentage, and you have to stay at that percentage throughout the whole time that you're on. So we didn't go down. We were at least 53, 54%.
Yeah.
The whole time. So another project I was working on, it took a year and a half to get greenlit on Steam. Just to give you an idea.
Wow. So this is, it's kind of like the expressway to get your game out there.
Yeah, it is. But the thing was, we weren't expecting that, and we weren't prepared for that to be done so quickly that we were like, what the hell?
It's like, why does everyone like this game? Why?
All this time to promote now, because now we're on Greenlight. Because once you're on Greenlight and it's approved, nobody's going to check your game out anymore. It doesn't show up on there. Now it goes on to this other thing where Valve tries to contact you, and then they, you're now trying to put your game on Steam. You're at a different bracket. They don't show your game anymore. Mm-hmm. So it's one of those things like, okay, great.
Oh, so you have to find other platforms of exposing the game out to the public, kind of.
Well, we still are trying to promote on the Greenlight page, but we're not getting as much traffic anymore. Like I said, because it's already been approved.
Yeah.
So it kind of disappears. But I mean, Steam is not the only thing we're going to do. We're actually going to, the next thing after Steam, we're going to go into Facebook Game Room, and then eventually port to Xbox after this.
Oh, wow. I did not realize
maybe PlayStation. Yeah.
Yeah.
We might, I don't know. It really depends. We'll think about trying to port it to Switch, maybe. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I could guarantee you get that on the Switch platform on a game like this, and it could be portable. That just hits a lot of demographics there. you could hit. Oh my God, that'd be great.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, the way that this pretty much any game is going to be successful is is through accessibility, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I see that golden goblet, Liz.
I'm sitting here like an awkward potato, just like,
Liz,
I'm just gonna monitor chat and everything is fine.
I'm like, hey, feel free to ask him stuff as well. You and Sticks, man.
So all right. So my question is, have you guys been like kind of like touching base with the options of another game, or is the focus solely on bits? And you guys have like a time frame before you're like, I think we're settled with this, we're comfortable with this, maybe we should branch out towards other options, maybe we can try something new for the peoples? Or is this like the baby? I feel like this is the baby of the moment, just cuddling it and caring for it.
This is the baby at the moment. So we are trying to raise this baby.
Raise the baby.
Raise the baby.
We're feeding it right now until it can actually walk by itself. And then at that point, we're going to branch off and hopefully expand the team.
Yeah. And
we're going to then work on a second title. Yeah. So this is not the first for us because the guys have expressed a lot of interest in making a different type of game, not a shooter. They've also expressed interest in making more of an RPG type of game. We've also talked about making some kind of side scroller, but regardless of whatever project we're going to do next, it will be different. It's not going to be a shooter. I don't think, just because we don't want to be stuck or like, in that
like
shooter
typecasted kind of typecasted.
Yeah, we where we're only just making shooter games. Like we want to have that under our belt, but we also, I'm okay too, man. We're also
You need some more wine? Do you need some wine, actually? Need some wine.
You need some more Red Bull and Tylenol.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah, we're
Wait,
no,
what?
There he is.
There he is.
He lives.
He lives. Guys, welcome Mystics again.
Red Bull and Tylenol. I'm all for that. Where's it at?
he's like falling asleep. It's like, oh God, put Tondo back on. Tondo is gone. Okay, he left me here.
The funny thing was, you didn't even know he left. Like, Tondo, you want to take that? Oh, Tondo left. It's like,
Oh, he's super gone. He's super gone.
He's sweet on Tondo.
Guys, we are again with the lead engineer for the Misfits game from Pig Dog Games. Oh yeah, I asked you this before. How did you come up with the name Pig Dog Games?
Oh, okay. So Pig Dog is really my dog. She's a part pit bull mix
and part pig.
Yeah, and part pig. She's weird because We got her at the shelter.
She's
dog.
weird, but she's okay.
She's used. She's been used.
It's the off-brand dog. It's like mostly dog, but just a little bit pig.
Yeah. Something happened. It was like some kind of freak accident or some kind of experiment. She it's weird. She looks like a pit bull, like not a.
I hear voices. I hear the conversation happening.
Jesus, is that you?
Jesus, take the keyboard. Wait, what?
It's like, what?
Yeah, so she's part like Staffordshire Terrier, so that's the British pit bull.
She's a British.
And then and I guess they're saying that she might be part French bulldog. So she has this tail that looks like it's like a corkscrew, and that's why we think she looks like a pig.
Like a corkscrew. Oh, I see.
It looks like a corkscrew. Yeah.
Sit on a computer.
So
that's cool. That's cool. But
yeah, that's how we came up with the game or the name.
That's interesting. And this is like your first game together, right?
Yes. Yeah. This is our first project. It's
And I see Liz with the cat. The cat is promoting Misfits the game by Pig Dog Games. That's what happens.
I love it.
We cater this game to all sorts of animals, pets, whatevers. El Gato there loves the game. You guys should love the game. Guys, I put the link to the Kickstarter. Please check it out in chat. You guys got to check out the Misfits. The Misfits by Pig Dog Games. We will promote this like crazy. Every animal will be on camera until you guys give money for it.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got more. I can totally get more. I've got another one that's looking at me.
Do what you got to do, man.
Where's Bento?
Bento has been eaten. I mean, Bento is still.
Bento, come here, baby.
Here we
Bento,
go.
come.
Here we go. Get
He's
Bento.
just looking at me like, no.
I don't like it on camera.
Your dog's like, my mommy's drunk.
He was like totally asleep. He's like, I've been summoned.
Mommy, go drunk to your home.
Come here, my baby.
See, like, oh man.
God, you're fat. This is the doggy.
Okay, that is
This
Bento.
is my doggy. Bento, say hello. Oh, thanks. I'll take that.
What's Bento saying? Please donate to
He's
the
like,
Kickstarter for
"Where's
Pig Dog Games. Her.
Donate to the Kickstarter for the Misfits.
I still think doesn't he look like a hyena?
He looks.
He is a hyena.
Yeah, I think he's like
You
a mini
can keep
hyena.
hyenas as
That's
pets
awesome.
now? Is that the new? You guys do things differently up north, don't you?
Yeah, we love our pets. We love our pets.
He's in fact more skilled at Misfits than Mark is.
Huh?
Oh, now he's all like,
He's
hey,
getting
we're supposed
better.
to go for a walk
He's
now.
getting better. I've seen it. I've seen it in his videos.
It was that day. I was either very tired or whatever. Come on, it was like 3 people against you and me, right? It wasn't like 5 people against you, like 2 people. Come on. We were outnumbered. We were totally outnumbered. I mean, I got to a point where I got to a 4-shot shooting streak. What was that? Like, what's it called? The 4. What are your different streaks?
Kill streaks.
Yeah.
Let's see. What is that? I think it's Savage is what comes up next, and then there's something else.
Yes, you're hearing this from the lead engineer of Misfits.
There's like 5 or 6 of them as far as kill streaks. There's Savage. There's some other kill streak, and then there's
the other ones, and then
Infamous
those other ones. So you're just like
Bloodthirsty. There's a few in there. I think Bloodthirsty is the highest though.
Guys. And I want to see if everyone here in chat is interested in helping us play the game. I think the more the merrier the game is, because I want to have that gang mode warfare where there's 4 teams, and if we could just have as many people with us, that would be great, you know?
Yeah. you know, if anybody in the chat, like, or you know, if you guys want to definitely come check out the pre-alpha, we definitely love to have people in there playing.
Yeah.
I think over the next couple of weeks, you'll hopefully see a change. I mean, we're hoping. I'm crossing my fingers, but we did hear some good news from our lead engineer yesterday. So we're actually testing that out in our development build. But hopefully we'll have you know, exactly what we were talking about earlier, where you know, the players would be hosting the matches instead of that dedicated server. So
like PvP, like
yeah, basically. So they'll be able to see an increase in you know, the frame rates and hopefully an increase in ping if somebody's hosting it close by or if they're hosting it. So
Yay!
Yay!
except for Mystics, we're actually putting something special in for him so that he is by himself.
Oh my god, please tell me it's a raccoon player. That would be...
I want to also say that Accident is Mystic's favorite target in whenever we play.
Yeah, apparently.
No, the thing is, it didn't start out that way. It started out as I just kept running into him.
Oh, really? Is that how it started?
Yeah. In the map, he was the one I kept running into, and it just, his reactions made it so funny that I turned it into a thing. I mean, you can ask
I like
Tondo.
to scream whenever I get shot. So
You can ask Tondo. He and I have made a custom game mode.
oh yeah,
It's called Kill
yeah,
Accident.
of course.
accidents.
Guys, if
That is not going in, by the way. That game mode will never happen.
it's not good, yeah. It has not been approved.
Oh man, I have a target on my back when I play every game. Like even the last project we worked on, I had a huge target on my back.
Oh man, that's
They always
why.
wanna
Poor
kill me
you,
for some
dude.
reason.
Poor you,
No,
man.
it's cool. Like I actually even I even tried to like do something, you know, with the players. Like, oh, okay, if you kill me, you know, I'll give you like free coins or whatever. You know, so it's kind of fun sometimes. I'm not, you know, it's all in good fun.
Yeah,
Well, I look at it like this: Accidents. You only hurt the ones you truly love.
Oh, thanks, Mystics.
oh, hugs. All hugs here. We're family. But man, could someone put in their YouTube site on there? Because if you guys want to see more footage of this game, please check out the site. Every week, Accident here always puts a video of us playing from the week prior. And there's some hilarious moments. Or actually, this is the PG version of it. We actually are pretty... We have... when we play, it gets rowdy in there. So what he gives you is just the PG portion of it.
NC-17. It's NC-17.
Yeah. If you guys wanted to really get into the NC-17 part, you guys should join us on our Friday nights, man.
Trust me, I would rather give you rated R. You know, but it goes up on the YouTube channel, and it's for the devs to showcase the game. So I try to just get the funny bits in there.
Yeah. You know, I want to also do another MODCAST with all you guys as a group, like a round table kind of deal, and explain the game more. I know they kind of left you on your own to dry.
Well, you know, like, I think I don't think that Lewis could make it, and neither could you know, Gnome. So I mean, like I said, we all have multiple jobs, and Gnome's working on another project also. So we kind of came together on this project knowing that you know, we all have other things, but this is more of like, hey, we're gonna try and make a game studio with just us and see how that works. At least, you know, we'll try.
Yeah, definitely.
And the cool thing is that we're doing it remotely, so we're saving a lot of money because of that. We don't have a brick and mortar location. You know, like these guys can literally move to Tahiti if they wanted to and just make the game over there.
Yeah.
So, and that's kind of how I wanted it to be. Like, you know, for me, this is one of these things. Like, you know what? And from what you were saying earlier, nobody is like hovering over your head and or on your back, like telling you what to do. That's exactly.
Overlords, yeah.
Oh shit, man! I can tell you some messed up stories about that.
Oh, do tell.
All right, so one of the projects, I'm not going to tell you the companies, but they're good big companies.
Yeah.
So one of the projects I worked on was.
So it's not Sony, but it sounds like Tony.
Tony Entertainment. Oh my God,
So
Tony
there's a
Entertainment.
company called
I've worked for a couple big studios. I've worked for a couple
Inflation.
small studios.
We're not saying that it's Sony, but its initials are SOE.
No, it's not. It's not them. It's not them. It might not be them.
It may or may not be, guys. Hypothetically, if this happened, that's what we're saying.
they were actually publishers of this particular game. They weren't. I didn't work for them per se. I worked for another company that they were the publisher for.
Okay.
So I was. I think this was one of my it was my first actual design job.
Yeah.
So I was a junior level designer at the time, and I made we were making like prototype versions of a level, and there was a few of us that made versions of it.
Yeah.
And or like different maps, right? Different levels. And this was prior to E3. So basically the producers came in and they handpicked a level to showcase over at E3. So they picked mine to showcase at E3.
Oh, nice.
And they showed it like behind closed doors. And this is when PS3 was coming out, right? So it was one of their launch titles. So I get, they tell me that my level is going to E3, and I'm so excited. I go into the bathroom, I'm like taking a pee, and all of a sudden the executive producer comes walking in through the door, and I'm there by myself, and I'm literally have my dick in my hand, right? And I'm peeing, and he's standing behind me, and he goes, "Hey, Gerald." It's like,
awkward.
Talking about awkward, right?
Hi.
I'm like, hey, what's up? It's like, I just want to let you know that this is a really big deal for this game, this level to do well over at E3. I'm like, okay, man. I'll be out in a
finish your
sec.
shakes? You didn't even have the shakes yet, dude.
Yeah, it was so freaking awkward, man. I was like, oh my God, did that just freaking happen? That was just so crappy.
I would shake your hand, but I'm kind of busy right now.
Yeah, and I was just like dumbfounded. I couldn't believe that shit happened.
Well, I thought he was gonna say like, well, if you really want this game to work, well, you're here.
Yeah,
I'm here.
Yeah.
Wham bam.
But anyway, so that was one story, but there was another one on another where every day, like the executive producer would come around.
Yeah.
With a baseball bat, right? and start like hitting it with his hand, and he'd go, "Okay, so who's sticking around for overtime?" And I was like,
"Wow,
with a baseball?"
Yeah, I was like, "Okay."
Meanie.
I think he's just joking, but the way it came off, it was like, "Why the fuck would you do that?"
He's a creeper, man. He's a
yeah. So. And yeah, I mean, there was just like some weird stories about that, but like the main reason why I wanted to start this studio is because I got tired of that. I got tired of like working for companies and just being a number. So and that's why we wanted to do it ourselves.
That's cool. And I also want to invite the chat room to ask you any questions as well. If you guys want to know more about the game, you guys are welcome to ask questions in chat to Gerald from Pig Dog Games or any of us. Anything about the game. So I invite you guys to do it. But yeah, you guys have some kind of is it weird or video like game companies kind of weird like that they act like kind of talk to you in the bathroom in a stall or walk around with a bat?
I don't know. I don't know.
That doesn't seem like normal life to me.
It doesn't happen. This wasn't like an everyday occurrence. I'm pretty sure that was more of a joke, but that's just something you don't do at work.
I mean, that's common sense, but I forgot common sense has gone, has left society. So I believe in that.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, man. And they don't birth kids with common sense anymore.
No, it's just a weird world.
Actually, Access, I have a question for you. It's not game related, but it has to deal with game design.
Okay.
You've been in the field for a number of years. What would your advice be to anyone who wants to get into the field?
That's very good, and every it really just depends. So here's my theory: if you cannot get in through the front door, get in through the back door.
Whoa. That's she said.
That's super dirty.
Wow.
You can take it that way. You can take it that way.
Is this done in the San Fernando Valley? What's going on? What has happened?
And this is what I mean by that. Because it's such a competitive industry, now they have like degrees that you can get game design degrees for and whatnot. But back when I was like first starting out, there wasn't a game design degree. Everybody that was in design came from whatever background. They had writers doing game design. They had people that were doing like in mathematics or programming. People that knew how to do spatial layouts for maps, and then you had artists doing that stuff too. So it really didn't matter if you kind of grasped how to lay out levels and were given a shot to do it, then you actually you got the job kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't start off doing a game design. I was actually going in for a special effects internship when I first started. Yeah. I kind of just fell into level design because of that. And that's what I mean. I came in test.
Yeah.
And then I did my time there. I made friends and met people and networked, and I ended up getting my first design job because of that. This was at EA. What I did at EA was doing tools testing, and while I was there testing the tools, I didn't just make sandbox levels to just test that specific mechanic. What I did was I built out a complete single-player campaign of all the different mechanics in the game, and then I would test it through that way. But I would have this full level to test it in.
Wow!
And I'd build like all kinds of cool stuff in it. To the point where they, and reuse their assets where they're like, what the hell is this level? I've never seen this before.
Yeah.
And they basically, I said, oh, it's not, I built it for testing. And that designer, I forgot his name. I think he's still on my LinkedIn, but he basically took it to the executive producer and said, hey, check this out.
Wow.
And they were going to bring me back in for an internship. But instead of doing that, I recorded the footage of that level, and I ended up getting a job.
Wow.
Before I graduated. Yeah.
Wow.
So, and that's what I mean. Like, if you can't get in purely by, your artwork or whatever, get in some other way. Get in through test. Get in through any way you can. It's great to go network with people.
Yeah.
And that's like I said, that's how I got in, and got my experience.
That's great. That's great advice there.
Yeah.
But, it just shows that how hard that you want to get into the field. It's just a smart way. This is a genius way.
Yeah, and you know what? No one ever gets into to games by themselves. They have to know somebody. It's really difficult to get your resume or your artwork at the front of that stack. Once you've worked on enough games, then that stack is a little bit shorter for you. Yeah. Or you're a little bit bumped up a little higher on that stack. But you have to get in first. That's the hardest part.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's a very small community. You know, I still like if I go for an interview at a game company, somebody knows like somebody that I know.
So
and,
like
and they will contact that person.
Oh.
So you can't go and burn bridges.
Yeah.
At any studio.
So is the community's pretty tight? Like you guys probably ran into each other at least once or twice or whatnot, right? Or they've heard of you.
Oh, absolutely. I you know, I still keep in contact with some of the guys that I worked with at other studios. I mean, I kept in contact with these guys too.
Yeah.
You know, we weren't working together for like a good 6-7 months.
Yeah.
And then I showed them what I was doing, and they just went, okay, we were waiting for you to do something like this. Because I was burnt out of the industry, man. I wanted to do something else, which is why I'm doing what I'm doing now. You know, I just got tired of it. I was tired of working contract gigs. But at that time, there was a huge recession, right? So it was very difficult to get a full-time gig and get benefits. So.
Oh, the important thing, benefits, yeah.
Yeah. It's hard. I mean, especially when your health benefits were like what mine were for two people. It was like $600 a month, $500. You know.
Like, oh man, those premiums. Yeah. Yep,
premiums go up.
Yeah, I just found out today. Like somehow my dental insurance didn't pay for my cleaning. I'm like, why? I'm supposed to have that. I know. Yeah. I gotta look into it. Benefits, man.
Well, you work at the hospital, right?
I do. Like I do work in the hospital, but whatever insurance company is contracted to do dental somehow didn't cover it unless they switched out the company, because it used to be like what, Cigna or something. Now it's like someone else. I don't know. I gotta figure that out. But yeah, benefits are always important, man. But man, I just want to say your game, you're doing a great job. You and the boys are doing great. We always have good times.
Thanks, man.
No problem. And I want to see if any of you guys have any other questions. You know, Liz or Sticks, any of you guys?
And
you're just on a mute. I need to answer my phone. How about you, Sticks? We'll jump to you.
All right, what is your next big update, if you can talk about it, for Misfits?
Hello? Uh-oh. Someone on mute? Gerald?
Oh, sorry. So, I'm sorry, what were you saying, Mystics?
If you can talk about it, what is your update for Misfits, if you can talk about it?
Yeah, so the next big update is really the servers and optimization, and also the character controller. Character controller is going to be huge for us. We're going to get, you know, we're stopping progress on actually making LODs for the character right now because of that. But Tando's pretty hard at work working on that. And he has the basic movement in. He just now has to put in we have to go in there and fine tune the actual character speeds and the actual animation speeds for it. But but I mean, at least the character movement is, the base is there. And then we're going to try and match the speed to what we have right now existing. But we're trying to make this a very fast-paced game. Like, you just watching what he's done with it, like, you can see where it's going. Like, we've added the vault mechanics, and we've simplified it in there. We're going to be adding a slide mechanic so that you can go underneath objects. So now that if we can do that, that means we might be able to add you know, an additional layer of gameplay in the environment where you're actually sliding into the building, like through a hole or something like that, or underneath something. And that way, you know, like, let's say you're sprinting and you want to get away from somebody, you can slide underneath something and they can't get to you, you know, unless they do that. And by doing some stuff like that, you know, later on, I want to introduce additional things. I mean, we still have to talk about this and see if it works, but I want to try and put in some gadgets as well. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that we want to put in. We want to put in the co-op stuff, but we can't because we just don't have the time to do that. There's nobody that's there doing it. Because we may need programming's help, and there's only one programmer. So it becomes kind of a bottleneck in that situation, right? So yeah, I mean, we're trying to. It's really time management at this point. Like, we're trying to get everything in ready so that when it's time for us to switch on the light, for that particular thing, it's it will hopefully be less buggy or less stuff to fix, and it'll be more like fine tuning instead of like having to rework something or recode something. So yeah, there's in a nutshell, like we'd like to add a crap ton of things, but probably the next couple steps are going to be, or next major steps are going to be the servers, and also we're getting away from the servers and the player controller. Because once we get the player controller working the way we want, then we adding features to it. And then later on, when we make Misfits 2 with the air quotes on it, that you're just adding additional mechanics on top of that system already that's built. Maybe modifying animations or putting in something like that, but we would just be adding content. So that's how those games get made, right? I mean, you don't make really that much money off the first game. You make it on the sequel.
Yeah, it's true.
Right. So,
by the way, Mystics has a great impersonation of Stitch. He would like to wants to add it to the game. That would be great. Oh yeah, tell us. You are a voice character in the game as well, right?
Yes, of course. We have a zero budget, so I have to be the voice because I have the best mic. That's it. That's basically all I needed as far as requirements to be that guy. I have your mic.
Oh yeah.
Have the techniques.
Oh, mine's an AKG.
Okay.
That's the same thing. I know it's a techniques.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have that. Was it the AT 2020? And that's why I'm doing the voiceovers. That, and you know what? They can complain all they want, but when I ask them to put freaking voices in, they don't want to do it. So fuck them. Until then, you're gonna hear my voice. God damn it.
Yeah, didn't you want to do like a Joe Coy voice in there or something, and another Morgan Freeman, or didn't we were talking about this? I think they actually
wanted Morgan Freeman in the game. I just sure, no problem. We get like $3 million to put him in a freaking audio sound booth. That's fine.
Well, yeah, man, dude, I'm glad that the game's taking off, man, and I want to thank you for being on here, and we're glad to play your game.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on here, man. Yeah, definitely anytime.
Yeah.
No problem.
I'm glad to help you guys out.
I give you crap a lot, but the Misfits is the most fun I've had in a game for a long time.
Cool, man. Yeah. I really appreciate that. I know the guys do too. That's the key. Like, number one, do we want to play the game? Are we having fun? Because if we're not, then we're wrong.
And we want to welcome Liz back to the show as well, too.
I'm totally back now.
It's funny. You're about to say something. You're like, I click. Like, what's that?
I had an important thing to handle.
I know. Pizza's got to be. You want the pizza to get cold.
Did you have any questions for him too, Liz, while we wrap up?
Oh shoot, not at the moment. I'm sorry. I'm distracted by cheesy carby goodness. The worst. I'm sorry.
I actually have
her
pizza
voice
coming.
one of the female characters.
Yeah, I mean, like we would love to have people come in and do voices for us. Like even Tondo has friends that are doing like they're actually actors, and you know, they want to do voiceover work too. So I'm like, yeah, if you guys want to do voiceover work and it's good, then it makes it in.
I mean, I'm a professional complainer, so I mean,
Yeah,
I use my
and-
voice often. I think you're a really good contender.
Monster said, I do 3 voices. My normal voice, which you don't want in any video game.
Dude,
Stitch
he's a
and
good Stitch.
Yoshi.
He's a good Stitch.
Stitch and Yoshi. Nice.
Stitch
So the
and Yoshi.
important
There
ones,
you go.
The canon voice.
Yeah. At least you have the basics down. So.
All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. But I want to thank everyone that watched this modcast. I want to thank Gerald, a.k.a. Accident, and Dropkick Tondo, who had a split after maybe, half an hour.
5 minutes.
Yeah. He just came in and said, hi, and then bye.
Fed you to the wolves, man. He fed you to the wolves.
I'm dropping this all on accidents.
And I want to thank Mystics as well as Nerdist the Cat for helping me co-host this thing. Hopefully, we want to have all you guys back, all 5 of you guys back all together, so we could bombard you with more stuff as the game progresses. And again, guys, Kickstarter, here's the link. Support them right now. I think that's the thing. Yeah. And check out their YouTube page, Pig Dog Games. And dude, if you guys want to play with us Fridays and another date that we'll let you guys know while we see Liz eating pizza on stream.
We will be having the devs in again. So if you want, message me on Discord or message Mobster for them, and we will happily read them next time we have them on.
Awesome. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, guys. Thank you, and we'll see you guys in the world of streaming sometime. Blah blah blah. We'll see you guys. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Wow.
It sounds like you do. I actually have pizza coming in, so.
Awesome. Again, hey, thanks for dropping in with us and having me.
No sweat, dude.
Much appreciated.
Yep. I'm totally down to help you guys out too. We will build this together.